recall the very first time that I applied theophostic prayer principles to a counseling session with a woman who was an incest survivor. It was a part of my survivors group that met weekly. I remember as she looked up, her pain now lifted, and through her mascara, tear-drenched eyes, she said to me with a new countenance and with joy, she said, "It's gone." And I remember in that moment, something in me changed. I saw Jesus do something I'd never seen him do before. Now, prior to this time, I was operating on principles and concepts that I now realize were somewhat flawed. I had two primary main misconceptions. One was that I assumed that the pain the person was having in their life was because they had been sexually abused. I now recognize that the pain was not there because they were abused, but rather because of what they believed in the context of that abuse. You see, the abuse didn't come forward in their lives, but what they believed did come forward. And now the dysfunctions and the pain and the discord in their marriage and the sexual dysfunctions and everything else that was plaguing their lives was not because they were abused, but because of what they believed. You see, if it had been because of what had happened to them, then there's no hope, there's no freedom, there's no way out, because the abuse would have always been. But if it's about the belief, belief can be changed. Another misconception I operated on was simply this, is that if I gave them the truth, then they would somehow rise up out of their pain and find peace and find freedom. Truth of the matter is, I gave them much truth. Year after year after year, session after session, I gave them truth, gave them truth, gave them truth, and they became smarter. They understood their dysfunctions more. They connected the dots between their abuse and their present life, but yet the pain remained. I discovered that no matter how skilled a person is, no matter how great a therapist he may be, there are some things that only Jesus Christ can do. Well, what is theophostic prayer? People ask me that often. Well, first of all, it's not counseling or therapy, because you never give advice, you don't give direction, you don't give steps of action to take, you don't lead or direct. It's not guided in any way by the theophostic prayer ministry. As a matter of fact, if the facilitator ever does anything to move the session in any direction that he or she thinks it should go, then he or she is ceasing to do theophostic prayer. Theophostic prayer is all about the person choosing to take the responsibility to own the pain in their life, to acknowledge that the pain is coming from their belief and not from the abuse. That doesn't mean or justify the abuse at any level. It simply means I have control in that I can make choices that really can move me out of this place of pain. We have to be willing to feel, to own our emotion, and go where the emotion is coming from. Now, the emotion is not coming from the abuse, even though it's found in the context of the memory. It's coming from the belief that's held in the memory. And that's a difficult journey, because all of our lives we've been trying to avoid the pain, to block out the pain, to medicate the pain, or to blame shift the pain onto someone else. And the reality is, we have the power to choose to go there, to make the decision, to identify what it is we believe, and in that context invite Christ to bring His truth. There's a way to freedom. There's a way to peace. Theophostic prayer is a tool among tools that can benefit you in this journey. My prayer is that you will find His peace and that you will enjoy the freedom He has for you. The Apostle Paul prayed this prayer, and I pray it as well for you, when he said, "May the Lord of peace Himself grant you peace in every circumstance."